Kentucky's record-breaking Powerball winner facing burglary and marijuana charges was back in court today. James Farthing's preliminary hearing was supposed to take place April 27th, but got pushed back because of medical reasons. Farthing told WKYT he was seriously injured in a jet ski accident.
But now it seems that situation has come to a close following testimony in court. WKYT's Alyssa Williams was in the courtroom today as Farthing's preliminary hearing unfolded. She has our top story at noon.
Police testimony and testimony from James Farthing's ex-girlfriend could be heard in the courtroom today, revealing a web of miscommunication that led to Farthing's charges. An arrest citation says Farthing allegedly broke into the home of his ex-girlfriend, Jacqueline Fightmaster, and stole $12,000 in March. Her testimony tells a different story. Fightmaster says she and Farthing got into a fight that day at Red Mile Gaming and Racing. She says Farthing left and went to her house where he had been staying. Fightmaster's security system was allegedly triggered and Farthing could be seen on her surveillance video. The police were called and she returned home. She says that's when she realized $10,000 was missing and Farthing was nowhere to be found. Police caught up with Farthing at Red Mile and searched his vehicle. Officers say they could not find the money, but did find marijuana. He was arrested and charged with burglary and marijuana possession.
Who said you pulled in?
Jacqueline Fightmaster.
Monday, Fightmaster shared with detectives in court where that money actually was.
Where did you find the money?
In a Gucci shoebox.
She then admitted she misplaced the money and knew Farthing didn't take it when police were at her home. She said she tried to reach detectives after the fact to make it right.
Everything happened so fast, I just went with it. I mean, there were guns in the house. There were about 20 police officers in the home.
In light of these new details, Farthing's charges were dismissed completely. In Lexington, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
And while these charges were dismissed, Farthing's time in court isn't over. He still faces wanton endangerment and leaving the scene of an accident charges from a different incident last year that were waived to a grand jury.